Hey guys, welcome to MNMM Plants and Pets. Today's video is going to be a very special one because of this drama queen that you see in front of me, and I thought that let's cover about this plant. And also I love this plant very much. Right now I have three varieties, 1, 2 and 3, and the name is triple splash plant or polka dot plant, or if you want to go for a difficult name, it is Hypoestes phylostachya plant. Now I know the third name was very difficult, so let's stick to triple splash for the entire video. Triple splash plant is a very different plant because, as you can see, the leaves of this plant, the foliage has this polka dot on the green surface, and that's why it's also called polka dot plant. It can be pink, it can be white, and it can be red as well, and I'm assuming it might be available in several varieties, but these three are the very common ones. Now let's get straight to the point and start discussing about how to maintain these drama queens. And the reason I call it drama queen is because this morning when I woke up, I saw all the leaves of this white one and the pink one wilted. Now what is wilted? Wilted means the leaves will just bend like this, and the plant will start looking very sad. Now when I looked at this red one, it was all good, but the pink and white one was looking like this, very sad. And if you have a closer look, it is still not that it doesn't look that happy right now. The leaves are still wilted, and the reason the leaves are wilted is because the plant is asking for water, and that's why I call it drama queen. And the moment you give it water, within few minutes you will see that the plant looks fresh like this. So I just watered my plant and I thought that let me share my experience on this plant. But as you can see, I've kept it in this white pot and it looks beautiful because of the contrast, this red and white and the pink white. Now how can I keep these triple splash plant very happy? Number one is light. Triple splash plant, they love indirect filtered light. If you have kept them inside your house in a well-lit room, that's the perfect place for triple splash plant. And also if you have kept them in a place where it is not receiving a lot of light, it's a low light position, that is perfect as well, because they will not die because they are in a low light position, or they will also not die because they are receiving bright light and not direct light. In fact, if they get direct light, they will not produce this variegation that you see on their leaves, and they will in fact die because of the direct sun on them. So please make sure that the leaves are not getting direct sunlight, and your triple splash will be happy forever. The second thing is how often do I need to water my plant? Now this is one of those questions which everybody wants to know, especially for indoor plants. Now triple splash plant, when I was going through the internet or the research that I was doing, I found that it was written everywhere that they love moist soil and they love a place where there is a lot of moisture. However, my experience of having triple splash from a long time says that the plant is more happy when you do not give it a lot of water. So what I do is that I water my plant only when, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that the leaves were wilted this morning. So the moment I see that my leaves get wilted and they bend a bit down like this and they look a bit sad, immediately I give them water, and I water them thoroughly so that the water just starts coming out from the underneath part of the plant. And that is the best time when I feel this plant needs water, because if it is about to dry and the leaves are not wilted and you just give it water, there are high chances of root rotting in this plant. And trust me, you can try this for your triple splash, that only water when the plant is asking for water. And how do you know that the plant is asking for water? The leaves will get wilted. So that is the best time to water, I would say. If you still want to go with whatever is written on the internet and you do want to give your plant a moist environment, what you can do is you can keep your triple splash surrounded with other plants, as I have kept, and that would give it a good moist environment. As you can see, I have a small fountain over here which I have kept, and I just keep it on whenever I'm in my room. So because of that, it just gives a little bit of moist environment to my plants. And triple splash is a bit far away from that fountain, I would say, but still it is surrounded with other plants and it is giving enough humidity, I believe. This plant is not a very heavy feeder like roses and other few indoor plants, but this plant is someone that you can definitely get inside your house because you do not need to fertilize this plant very often. While planting this one in your pot, what you can do is is you can plant it inside the potting mix. You can use a potting mix that you use for other indoor plants. And if you do not have potting mix, what you can do is you can take the normal garden soil and you can add a little bit of cow manure in it, like 20%. If you have coco peat, you can add some coco peat inside it. And if you do not have all this, you can just take a normal garden soil and you can give it some liquid fertilizers like seaweed fertilizer. Now, the best way to give liquid fertilizers to your plant is, let's say I'm giving seaweed fertilizer. Just take 1 drop of seaweed fertilizer and put it inside the mug, 1 mug of, let's say, your coffee mug, and just pour that cold water with 1 drop of seaweed fertilizer inside your plant, and that should be fine for your plant to have a healthy growth. Now, this plant is a plant which does not look very good when it grows very tall. In fact, it looks beautiful when it's very bushy. So how can I make this plant bushy? All you need to do is, if you have a look over here inside, let's say over here at this place, when I will cut this, when I had cut this plant from this position at 45 degrees angle, it started giving 2 new shoots, and in fact it gave this 3rd new shoot as well. So from 1 cutting I got 3 branches, and that's how I can make my foliage very bushy, and it looks beautiful when it is bushy. Now also you have to make sure that this foliage, this particular foliage, that you do not over fertilize it, because sometimes what happens is we love our plants too much and we just give them a lot of fertilizer thinking it would do good. But actually what I have felt is that this plant does not require a lot of fertilizer. You can fertilize it once in 3-4 months, or let's say 6 months even, that should be fine. And the best fertilizer according to me is liquid fertilizer, because it is very easy for the plant to absorb nutrients through a liquid fertilizer compared to the solid one. Because if your pot is full and you want to give it some solid fertilizer, first you have to remove some soil and then you have to add a new one, which is a very tedious process. And instead of that, what you can do is, what I normally do is I just take 1 drop of seaweed fertilizer in my watering can, and then I will add cold water inside the can so that it mixes well, and I will straight away give it to my plants. Also, if this is not something that is available to you, what you can do is, in your watering can, just keep banana skin or orange skin inside the can and just water your plant after 24 hours, the leftover water that you have, and that is a great liquid fertilizer for your plants. So in a nutshell, if you want to keep this plant bushy, happy, and you want to maintain the design that it has on its leaves, all you need to do is you have to maintain the bright light position that it has, or indirect light. You have to water only if the leaves get wilted, and you have to not over fertilize it, not over water it, and that way it will be very happy. Now also when it comes to propagation, let's say this one, if I wish to propagate this plant, which I do not want to right now because the pink one especially is not that big. So let's say I'll take this example of red one. Let's say it's a very healthy one. Now whenever you're cutting your plant to make it bushy, what you can do with the cutting is you can use it for growing another foliage. So let's say I am cutting one of my branches to make it bushy. What I'll do is I'll just cut it from here. See, I've cut it at 45 degrees angle. Now the place I've cut it from, it will start giving 2 branches and then another 2, and that's how the foliage becomes very bushy. So if I want to propagate this one, it is very important for me to remove the leaves, couple of leaves from the bottom part, because if I keep a lot of leaves, the strength of the plant will just go in feeding the leaves and not in developing roots. So it is very important to make sure that only couple of leaves are there so that the plant has something to survive, and that is the leaf. And then I can just put it in water like this. Now where should I keep this? It should definitely not be in direct sun. I can keep it somewhere where it is receiving light but not direct sunlight. So let's say I've kept it over here, and around 2 to 2.5 weeks is enough time to develop roots. and once the roots start developing and you see the roots are a bit lengthier, you can pot it in a normal small, very small pot. What I had done is I had once propagated my foliage, and then when it started developing roots, I had a very small ceramic pot, and I planted 3 different types of triple splashes inside it, and then I gifted that to someone, and that person really liked it. So you can do the same. You can just propagate your plant and gift it to anyone in the coming future, and you will see that that person is so happy, because it's very important to understand that when you grow it by yourself and you gift it, it makes more sense, and there are more feelings attached compared to just buying something from the shop and giving it to your family or your parents for that matter. So I hope you enjoyed everything regarding triple splash. I would definitely recommend this as your indoor plant because they are not very high maintenance, though they sometimes try to create some trouble for you by showing the wilted leaves. And do not panic if you see them, just water them a little bit and they will be fine. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then hit the like button, subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates.